Knowledge was that knowledge that was talked about where it said he that is not sick don't need a physician.
There you go. There you go.
That was metaphysical parlance to get us to understand the two trees.
Yeah.
Or the two selves. Remember, as the Sufa says, that we are the tree and a branch of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Not only are you the tree, but if you notice, the tree have branches.
Mm-hmm.
This is the unity of life.
Mm-hmm.
The branches ain't on a separate tree.
Mm.
The branches are connected.
Connected.
So now when you understand this connection, this connectivity, this is called spiritual wisdom. When you have found the understanding of the connection of things.
Mm-hmm.
That's the unity.
Mm-hmm.
They got people spiritually fighting spirits, humans fighting humans,
Yep.
and all of it's imaginary. Only thing can put an imaginary fire out is self. You the only one can stop yourself from imagining. The imaginary fire. We have to distinguish what's imaginary from what's reality. What's real? What's real, you woke up today. Spiritual wisdom is the unity of life. For wisdom speaks, for the higher self speaks out of the higher plane of life. And the lower self speaks out of the lower plane of life. Now these just are basic one-on-ones. One-on-ones is the template of self-knowledge. Self-knowledge one-on-one. There's only one wisdom. There's only one religion. There's only one creator deity. And if you don't understand that, then you don't understand self. For self is higher than the animals below.
Mm-hmm.
For self is higher than the angels above.
Yep.
You are a self. This is the greatest achievement to receive as a gift of life. And now with the gift of life, you can get to know life. What life is made of. Life is made of the unity of the higher self and the lower self. Can't nothing come into the natural world without the higher self with it. The higher self and the lower self is the unity of life. Men, birds, beasts, creeping things.
Mm.
All these are deities made flesh.
Mm. 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 Mm.
How dare how dare men kill anything?
Look at that. Mm. Mm.
All life is bound in one
What you say?
by the sweet breath
Mm-hmm.
and like you say, Ilahaya.
That's sweet.
Mm-hmm. All life is bound in one.
And breath is what keeping the lines alive, everything that you have to breathe. Ain't that something? You can see it.
Mm-hmm. The universal Allah is one.
Mm-hmm. One breath, but many breaths.
And like a branch, more than one.
Mm-hmm.
But all things, like all branches, is connected to the tree.
Mm-hmm.
This is the magnificence we bear witness to. Are you aware that you breathing? You bearing witness to something greater.
Mm-hmm.
We finna understand what as-salam, when we say as-salam, salam. Peace and paradise. Peace and paradise. When you have the self-knowledge, that's what it should be. Peace and paradise.
Right on.
We finna go into our holy instructions of peace. Our salam, salam. 18.1.
Mm.
Praise peace, which is bliss itself, which is by nature stillness and light. Peace by nature is stillness and light. And which by its knowing reveals the world as a dream.
Dreaming of the world.
Remember, the world is the illusion. The lower self is the world. And as a dream is a part of the world, the dreaming world is both an illusion of the lower self. Peace is bliss. Peace is of the higher self. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. This is great. 18.2. One may enjoy the abundant pleasures of the world, but will never be happy until giving them up. Did we catch that?
Oh yeah, can anybody bear witness to that?
Never be happy. This is what wisdom is saying.
What? Never be happy.
Self will never be happy.
What did?
The lower self will never be happy.
So that explains why can't nobody make each other happy in that so-called happy fiction world.
Mm-hmm. The illusion. The imaginary, we keep imagining illusions. This stuff has spellbound us, where we have been captivated by false illusions, imaginary thoughts, imagining up words, imagining up evil actions. All this is done by man's imagination alone.
Look at it. It's a big imagination.
Man's God is his imagination. Whatever he imagines, he thinks that is real. This is why we need the two understandings. Because man identifying with that which is not self is where all the happiness become unhappy. The moment he does it, she does it. Self needs this knowledge as man, or self needs this knowledge as woman. Because man and woman is the illusion of the world. You are human spirit, not the human man or woman. You clothed in soul, not clothed with clothes. 18.3. How can one whose innermost heart, their innermost self, has been scorched by the sun of sorrow that comes from duty, be happy until the sweet rain of torrential stillness? All these imaginings is ruining the peace. Peace is there already. But the imagination is stirred. Do not stir the imagination of the mind. Try it out, you'll see. 18.4. The universe. Now we know the universe is not so big. The universe is not so great. Actually, the universe is small. Small as the lower self. Small as the lower self. What's greater than the higher? Ain't nothing greater than the higher. The universe, your body, is but a thought. Your body is a thought in consciousness. Consciousness means two substances coming together to create unity. The body is a thought. Spirit joined matter. The matter was joined by thought, and it created the matter into activity. And this is what we call thought activity or consciousness. But that illusion of activity, in reality, it is nothing. In reality, it is nothing. This is what we have to understand of the flesh and the lower self.
Mm.
We've been imagining through their system of imaginations.
Yeah, boy. Mm.
And now we think nothing but fear mongering. Bringing fear upon the self through lack of self-knowledge. And this is the danger of imagination. One who sees the true nature of existence and non-existence never ceases to exist. Higher self teachings. We talking about being and non-doing. Just because you're not doing it doesn't mean it don't exist. Just because you're not being it doesn't mean it don't exist. This is an understanding. And the two understandings we got to understand is existence and non-existence, which belongs to illusion. Illusions come, then illusions go. They're never permanent. So only thing that's been permanent is that which remains. Since you was a child, what remained? 18.5. The self, which is absolute. The self, which is effortless. The self, which is timeless. The self, which is immaculate. There goes your immaculate conception. The virgin birth. We talking about the uncreated self, the virgin birth. The self without limits. Not the flesh and the lower self that's bounded with the depths of its own dimension. You can't stretch no farther than your arm. That's called limit. Your true self, the real deal, is invisible. It has no limit. It's boundless. Illa wasiya. The vast, boundless, the all-embracing. And the self is at no distance from you. You are self. And you are forever self. See, this is what we would have known from the real. Right off the porch, we would have known this. But they gave us these myths full of imaginary gods made of air.
We messed this up.
$18.6. For those whose vision becomes unclouded, imagination evaporates, and the self becomes known. All sorrow is instantly, like instant grits, instantly dispelled. Now, is this not omnipotence? This is the omnipotence of man. The unity of life. 18.7. Seeing everything is imagination. Knowing the self as timelessly free. The Al Sufiyon lives as a child. The Illah Sufa. This right here is where the ultimate goal is. This is the championship knowledge. 18.8, knowing the self as absolute, knowing existence, awake, and non-existence, sleep, both to be imagination only. Catch the winds now. What is there for the desireless one, the holy one, to learn, say, or do? This is the greatest knowledge. Ain't nothing greater than the divine creator. What is it else to learn, say, or do? This is the highest manifestation of wisdom, known as the tree of life, the unity of life, the two understandings of the higher and the lower and the higher self. Illah. Let's keep that. Let's keep it going. Self-knowledge. 18.9. Knowing for certain that all is self. Knowing for certain. Surety is the omnipotence that man will reach the deific life. Knowing for certain that all, Allah is all, that all is self. The sage has no trace of thoughts such as I am this or I am not that. Thoughts. Brother man, your thoughts are wrong. Your imaginations are wrong. Imagining I am this. Imagining I am not that. Imagination evaporates and self is known. 18.10. The yogi who finds stillness is neither distracted nor focused. He knows neither pleasure nor pain. Ignorance dispelled. He is free of knowing. 18.11. Heaven or poverty, gain or loss, society or solitude. To the yogi, free of conditioning, there is no difference. Zero. We're talking simple mathematics. Science is one of the greatest gifts given to us by the divine creator for us to know ourselves. Imagination is imagination. There is no difference. 18.12. Religious merit, sensory pleasure, worldly prosperity, discrimination between this and that. these have no significance. To the yogi, free of opposites. Such as, for example, I do this, and this I do not. That's called taking sides. Switching sides. See, the straight path is not the side path. The straight path is not the path of suicide. Choosing a side leads to suicide. 18.3. The yogi who is liberated while living has no duties in this world, no attachments in his heart. His life proceeds without him. That's like when your body proceeding, your heart beating as you sleep. Life proceeding on as you sleeping on. 18.14. For the great soul, here we go, who abides beyond desire, where is imagination? Where is illusion? Where is the lower self? Where is the body? Where is meditation on the lower self? Where even is liberation from them? We're talking about peace. This is the first piece. 18.5, 15, 18.15. He who sees the world may try to renounce it, but what can the desireless one do? He sees there's nothing to see. 18.16. He who has seen the supreme Brahma thinks I am Brahma. But he who has transcended all thought, what can he think? Question mark. He knows no other than self. 18.17. He achieves self-control, who sees his own distraction. But the great soul is not distracted. He has nothing to achieve. He has nothing to do. The man of knowledge, 18.18, may live as an ordinary man, but he is not. He sees he is neither focused nor distracted, and finds no fault with himself. He is beyond existence and non-existence, 18.19, who is wise, satisfied, free of desire, does nothing though the world may see him in motion. The wise one is not troubled by action or non-action, 18.20. He lives happily doing whatever gets done. This is a whole different, this ain't even a mind state right here. This is self-knowledge. 18.21. Like a leaf in the wind, the liberated one is untethered from life, desireless, independent, free, standalone. 18.22. For one who has transcended the world, there is no joy or sorrow. With a stilled, peaceful mind, he lives on with no body. Eternal existence. 18.23. One who knows self, whose mind is serene and spotless, does not desire to give up anything, nor does he miss what is not there. His mind being in a divine state of emptiness, the wise one knows nothing of honor and dishonor. He does what comes to be done. The one who acts knowing this is done by the body, not by I, pure self, indeed does nothing. No matter how much acting takes place. Guilty body, guilty mind. Self-knowledge, all mind and body illusions evaporate. 18.26, the liberated one acts without claiming to be acting. But he is no fool. He is blessed and happy, even though in the world, having had enough of the endless workings of the mind. 18.27, the wise one comes to peace, to rest. He neither thinks, he neither knows, he neither hears, he neither sees. Beyond stillness, beyond distraction, the great soul thinks nothing of liberation or bondage. Having seen the universe is void, even though it seems to exist. He is God. 18.29. He who believes he is a person is constantly acting, even when the body is at rest. The sage knows he is not a person, and therefore does nothing, even when the body is in motion. Deep penetrations. The mind of the liberated one is neither troubled nor pleased. It is actionless, motionless, and desireless, and free of doubt. The liberated one does not exert effort to meditate or act. Action and meditation just happen. (18.32). Now, us all hearing ultimate truth. As was said, truth will make you free. As us hearing ultimate truth, the dull-witted man is bewildered. The wise man hearing truth, retreats within and appears dull with it. (18.33) The ignorant practice meditation and no thought. The wise, like men in deep sleep, do nothing. The 18.34, the ignorant man finds no peace, either by effort or non-effort. The lower self finds no peace. See, these things the lower self cannot understand, because the lower self has no understanding. The ignorant, the lower self finds no peace either by effort or non-effort. The wise man, by truth alone, is stilled. By law alone is stilled. 18.35. Though they are by nature self alone, pure purity, love and perfection, though they transcend the universe and are clearness itself, men of the world would not see this through meditation and practices. The ignorant man will never be liberated by his repetitious practices. Blessed is he who, by simple understanding, enters timeless freedom, because he desires to know God. The ignorant man can never become God. The wise man is God, because he is free of desire and knows nothing. Unable to stand steady and eager for salvation, the ignorant perpetuate the illusion of world, seeing the world as the source of all misery. The wise cut it off at the root. (18.39) The fool thinks peace comes by controlling the mind. He will never attain peace. The wise one knows truth and is stillness itself. I hope that rang, because as we was told, if you want to be free, you got to know the truth.
Yeah.
Not know your mind. We talking about self-knowledge. The holy breath. Switch it up right quick. The holy breath.
And when it's saying about controlling the mind, you got people who wants to control your mind. Like you don't have your own mind.
When man has conquered every mind upon the plane of mind, the seed, the self, will have full open out and will have folded in the holy breath. Teach that the holy breath will make them one again, will make them self again, restoring harmony and peace. The holy breath is truth. The holy breath is truth. Is that which was, and is, and evermore shall be. The holy breath cannot change, nor can the holy breath pass away. See, we must know about the breath and the holy breath.
Mm-hmm.
The wise one knows the self, the truth, the holy breath. And this is the knowledge that you attain when you know as this is the wisdom of all wisdom. This is the most spiritual wisdom of all wisdom. Is not to worship Allah. Allah is the light you must attain. Allah is the light you must attain. This is the truth you must attain.
Mm.
18.40. For he who thinks knowledge is things and thoughts, how can there be self-knowledge? Question mark. The wise do not see separate things. The wise only see the timeless self. The fool tries to control the mind with the mind.
There you go.
What foolishness! What folly! What folly to the Holy One! You get to the one with the one.
Mm-hmm.
That's like trying to fix your thinking with thinking. There is no mind. The wise one delights in self alone. The wise one delights in self alone. There is no mind to master. There is no illusion to master. There is no lower self to master. Some believe in existence, 18.42. Others believe nothing exists. Rare is the one who believes nothing and is never confused. Weak intellectuals may believe the self is one without other, but being mired in illusion, they do not actually know self, so live out their lives in misery. Higher self, lower self, the unity of life. The mind of one seeking liberation depends on things for perception. The mind of the liberated one perceives no thing, and is free of desire. 18.45. Timid men fear sensory experience, much as they do tigers. They seek refuge in caves and try to unthink the world. Sensory experiences, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, are like elephants who, upon encountering, are desireless men. See him as a lion, they immediately turn on their heels. Or if unable to escape, stay on to flatter and serve him. A man with no doubts, 18.47, who knows only self, has no need of practice or liberation. Seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, he lives as he is, happily. One whose mind is empty and unconflicted by the mere hearing of truth, sees nothing to do, nothing to avoid, nothing to warrant his indifference. The sage does whatever appears to be done without thinking of good and without thinking of bad. His actions are those of a child. Depending on nothing, one finds happiness. Depending on nothing, one attains the supreme wisdom. Depending on nothing, one passes through tranquility, peace to oneself. When one realizes he is neither the actor nor the one who watches, the mind storm is still. The actions of the sage, free of pretense and motive, shine like clear light. Not so those of the deluded seeker, who affects a peaceful demeanor while remaining firmly attached, unbounded, unfettered, untethered from the projections of the mind. The wise are free to play and enjoy, or retire to mountain caves. You find all your prophets going to the mountain, or going to the wilderness, or going to be alone. 18.54, whether honoring a spiritual scholar, a god or holy shrine, whether seeing a desirable woman, a king or beloved friend, the heart of the sage is unmoved. Though his servants, sons, wives, daughters, grandchildren, and all his relatives ridicule and despise him, the yogi is undismayed. Though pleased, he is not pleasure. Though pain, he does not suffer. This wonderful state is understood only by those like him. The belief in duty creates a relative world for its performance. The wise one knows himself to be formless, timeless, all-pervasive, immaculate, and thus transcends duty and word. Even doing nothing, the dull one is ancient and distracted. Even amidst great action, the wise one remains still. Even in practical life, the wise one remains happy. Even in actual life, happy to sit, happy to sleep, happy to move about, happy to speak, happy to eat.
Happy.
Yes. Because he knows self. The wise one is not disrupted by actual life. He is deep and still, like a vast lake, He is not like ordinary people. His sorrows have vanished. For the deluded one, even rest is an activity. Even peace is an activity. For the wise, even action bears the fruit of stillness. The deluded one is often adverse to the things of his life. To one with no thought for body, attachment and aversion have no meaning. The deluded mind is caught up in thinking and not thinking. Though the mind of the wise one may think what thoughts come, he is not aware of it. The sage sees nothing being done even when performed by his own hands. Like a child, he is pure and acts without reason. Blessed indeed is he who knows self. Though seeing, hearing, touching, smelling and eating, he never desires nor changes. For one who is void and changeless, where is the world and its imaginings? Where's the end? Question mark. Where's the possibility of peace? Question mark. Glorious indeed is he who, free of desire, embodies peace as bliss itself. He has become absorbed in self. In short, the great soul who has realized truth is free of desire, enjoyment, and liberation. In all space and time, he is attached to nothing. What remains for one who is consciousness of self, who sees the non-existence of the physical world created by the mere thought of a name? Question mark. Peace is natural for one who knows for certain nothing exists, who sees appearances as imaginations, to whom the inexpressible is apparent. Rules of conduct, detachment, renunciation, asceticism. What are these to one who sees the unreality of things, who is the light of awareness? Question mark. How can there be joy or sorrow, bondage or liberation for one who perceives non-existence and lights the infinite? Until self-realization, illusion wins. The sage lives without thoughts of I or mine. His connection to illusion is severed. What is knowledge? Question mark. What is the universe? Question mark. What are thoughts like I am the body? The body is mine. The sage is imperishable and deathless and sorrowless. He is self alone. When a weak man gives up meditation, he falls prey to whims and desires. For hearing truth, the man of dull intellect holds on to illusion. Through effort and suppression, he may appear outwardly composed, but inside he craves the world. Though others may see him working, the sage does nothing. Knowledge has banished effort. He finds no reason to do or say. The sage is fearless, unassailable. No darkness, no light. Nothing to lose. Nothing. Patience, discrimination, even fearlessness. What use are these to the yogi? His nature cannot be described. He is not a person. No heaven, no hell, no liberation for the living. In short, consciousness is void. What more can be said? The sage neither yearns for fulfillment nor frets over non-attainment. His mind is cool and brimming with sweetness. Detached from desire, the sage neither praises peace nor blames the wicked. Equally content in happiness and misery, he would not change a thing. The sage neither rejects the world nor desires self. He is free of joy and sorrow. He does not live and cannot die. The wise one lives without hope. He has no attachment to his children, wife, or anyone. Pleasure means nothing to him. His life is glorious. The sage wanders about as he pleases and lives on whatever may come. Contentment ever dwells in his heart, and when the sun sets, he rests where he is, rooted in being, no thought of being born or reborn again. The great soul is indifferent to the death or birth of a body. The wise one stands alone, caring for nothing, bereft of possessions. He goes where he will, unhindered by opposites. He doubts, rent asunder. He is truly blessed. The wise one has no sense of mind. To him, earth, stone, and gold are the same. The knots of his heart have unraveled. He knows neither ignorance nor sorrow. He is excellent in every way. The liberated soul has no desire in his heart. He is content and indifferent. He has no equal. Only one free of desire knows nothing of knowing. Says nothing needs saying. Sees nothing to see. He who is without desire excels, be he beggar or king. He no longer sees good or bad. What is lust or restraint or the desire for truth? To the yogi who has reached life's goal and who embodies virtue and sincerity, the inner experience of one who is free of desire and suffering, who is content and reposes in self. How can it be described? Of whom? The wise one's state never varies. Sleeping soundly, he is not asleep. Lying in reverie, he is not dreaming. Eyes open, he is not wakeful. The man of knowledge seems to think, but has no thoughts. He seems to have sense perception, but does not experience. He seems to have intelligence, but is empty-minded. He appears to be a person, but is not. The man of knowledge is neither happy nor miserable, neither detached nor attached, neither liberated nor seeking liberation. He is neither this nor that. Even while distracted, the blessed one is still. In meditation, he does not meditate. In ignorance, he remains clear. Though learned, he knows nothing. The liberated one who abides unconditionally in self, who is free of the concept of action and duty, who is always and everywhere the same, is desireless. He does not worry about what he did or did not do. The wise one is neither pleased by praise nor annoyed by blame. He neither rejects in life nor fears death. One of tranquil mind seeks neither crowds nor wilderness. He is the same wherever he goes.
Made it.
You made it. Peace and love. In the remarks before we close down, we 6 months after. Oh yes, and that was peace, peace, and peace.
Indeed, peace.
That was the unity of life, the higher self and the lower self. As-salam, salam, illah sufiyana, Allah wadua.
Yes.